Alright, it's 2015. I'm standing here in New York City. What do I have in my pocket? I have a phone. What's on my phone? Applications. What's on your phone? Applications. What's on their phone? Applications. What's behind those applications? Accounts. A lot of accounts. Who wants to have all these accounts? Nobody wants to have all these accounts. We want one account. We want one place to manage all of our applications. We don't have it. This is a life without proper technology. This is a life with fragmented data. This is a life where we don't get to access a higher intelligence because this data is withheld. What we need to do is we need to come together and build a collaborative technology, people and companies. We need to figure out a way to build something, a network that people and companies can get together and push what they have to offer, not just to themselves, but to everybody else around them. How many people are standing in this park right now? We're at Union Square. There's thousands of people around me. There's apartment buildings, there's merchants, there's offices, there's subways beneath me, there's fiber cables and Ethernet beneath me, there's cell towers and microwave stations on the top of these apartment buildings. It's all fragmented. When I send a text message on my phone, where's it going? It's going to a data center that's dozens of miles away from here, maybe in Brooklyn, maybe in New Jersey. Why is it not existing around me? Why does this data not exist around me? Why is there not a system embedded into the world that takes all of this data and comes together in the same way that human minds do? Why is there not a system that creates a way for this data set to be connected into one, to be put into a place where nobody has control, where nobody except the people have control? Why does Google have control of my data? Why does Facebook have control of my data? Why can't I move it around? Where is this one network that I can put things into and have control over the data that I generate? I'm the human. I represent the kinetic energy that gives these services the actual movement, the action that generates that data. These services represent potential energy. Without me, without the human, they're nothing. How do we fix that? How do we interject something into that mix that says to these services and says to humans that you're in control and these services aren't in control? If I open up my phone right now and I go throughout the course of my day, I'm going to use dozens of different applications. I'm going to chase those services around. I might listen to 5 different music services. Why do I have to go and chase around Spotify, go and chase around SoundCloud, and go and chase around Pandora? Why can't they come to me? I'm the human. I'm actualizing their service. I represent the kinetic energy. Why, when we consider centralized data centers and supercomputers, do they cost millions of dollars to build? That's not okay. They take years to build. Intelligence is withheld. NYU is down the block. Columbia is up the road. There's clusters of computers at these colleges that are outdated and are running from the early 2000s, running on outdated Intel computers, Intel CPUs. That's not okay. What we need is a distributed system that can come together and solve problems like collaborative drug discovery, like protein folding. When I go and I run a marathon, why am I given a t-shirt? I should be given a device that I can go home and plug in and can allow me to take part in a distributed computing project that helps me find a cure to heart disease or to cancer, or helps me develop a new drug along with millions and thousands of other citizens that inhabit this country that give the government data, but we don't get paid for it. That's not okay. Why are we not getting paid? Why are people not sharing in the revenues of these services that monetize off of my kinetic energy, off of the human's kinetic energy? That's not okay. Okay? These services don't pay me for the data that I generate to give to them, but they get paid for it. Why does Facebook not share in their advertising revenue and give it back to me? If I click on an advertisement on Facebook, that advertiser paid Facebook to go and get insights and learn about my profile, but I didn't get a dime from that. I didn't get a penny from that, and that's not okay. So we have to reverse that. We have to turn things around. We have to put a human at the center. Okay? We can't say for the rest of our lives that we're going to go and chase these services around, that we're going to go and we're going to knock down forests and build data centers, because every single moment the amount of data being generated is compounding. Okay? The amount of data that gets generated tomorrow is going to be more than the amount of data that's generated today. Okay? There's an exponential law at play. You can't keep building data centers and knocking down forests and natural environments to do that. There's real estate surrounding me where a distributed device can exist and house all of that data. Okay? the merchants that are around me, if we think about the 25 or 50 businesses that are surrounding me in Union Square, they all have different systems. They all have different point of sales. They all have different registers. Some of them use Square, some of them use Lavu, some of them use Revel, some of them use Clover. That's great, but all the data remains separate. And if a merchant wants to go and run another loyalty program, guess what? They have to go and they have to use that separate loyalty program. Why is an organization chasing these services around? Everything should revolve around one entity. Okay, the merchant should have one place where they can attach all of those different services and get paid for the data that they give them. Okay, so we have to reverse the model, and we have to say that we have to put an entity at the center. We have to give a merchant one place, one account, one network. We have to give a person one place, one account, one network, and then we have to think about how we can optimize for collaboration. Okay, how we can build an all-encompassing distributed device, the Munch access point, okay, that can go and be embedded into real estate that already exists. Okay, there's an apartment building next to me here, there's an apartment building there, there's another one over here. Between these apartment buildings that are surrounding me in Union Square, we have thousands of occupants, we have thousands of different apartments. If each one of those apartments had one Munch access point, we would have teraflops, not even teraflops, we would have petaflops available in Union Square alone of computing power for the world to tap into. For a kid down the block who wants to run a physics simulation and can't do that because they don't have access to CERN supercomputers, that's not okay. When all that data gets generated from papers that are written at Union Square or NYU, where's it going? Where's that data that's getting generated at NYU? It's sitting there, nothing's happening to it. We have to take all of those papers that students are writing and we have to sift through the patterns and find things that can structure intelligence that result in, we can't go and sift through 1,000 papers on nanotechnology. We get all these papers and we put them into one place and we apply machine learning to them. We're able to learn from these papers and we're able to structure a higher intelligence. When we get data from not just one service, but from many services, from n number of services, from any number of services, okay, we're gonna have a combinatorial data set that doesn't exist. If a merchant has one point of sale, one loyalty program, one online ordering service, one delivery service, one reservation service, where is all of that data going? It's all staying separate. If you bring all of that data together and put it into one place and you say, okay, we're going to interject something that's not controlled by any one technology. We're going to use blockchains, which have a built-in currency for people to get paid for, built right into that protocol. We're gonna interject that. We're gonna say, here's the account. Nobody owns the account. The people own the account. That's what a blockchain does, and that's what nobody realizes about Bitcoin, okay? So with Munch, which stands for Massively Ubiquitous Network Collaboration Hub, and it's comprised of two components. We have the Munch Access Point and the Munch Open Data Environment, Mode and Map. With Munch Mode, we have the pipelines and the plumbing to say we can glue any number of accounts or bring in any number of different pieces of data points into one place, and we can make the blockchain the first touch point. Nobody owns that data. We have a map, and we say with this map, we can give real estate owners and cities a place, one device that they can put down and embed into their locale, and it becomes their one touch point to automate devices, driverless cars, okay, to automate lights and automate security cameras and systems. All these things need one hub to come together and think about how they can, sift through all the data that's being generated. Okay, what about, location tracking? What about when I walk around and I roam through my environment? Okay, ubiquitous computing needs to take root. Our world should come alive. It should recognize who I am, and if I walk into a merchant or a coffee shop, it should have my services ready when I get there. I shouldn't have to pull out my credit card anymore. I should automatically pay when I get in. All my services should be combined into one action. When I get back to my office, the office building should recognize who I am. I shouldn't have to do a check-in. I shouldn't have to take out my NFC card. When I buy my ticket from the subway, I shouldn't have to buy that ticket from the subway. Okay? It should be all connected through one system, one account, one place, one network. That's Munch life.